Ezekiel chapter 34. And there is a word of Yahweh to me, saying, Son of man, prophesy concerning the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy, and you have said to them, Thus said Lord YHWH to the shepherds, Woe to the shepherds of Israel, who have been feeding themselves. Do the shepherds not feed the flock? You eat the fat, and you put on the wool. You slaughter the fed one. You do not feed the flock. You have not strengthened the weak, and you have not healed the sick one, and you have not bound up the broken, and have not brought back the driven away, and you have not sought the lost, and you have ruled them with might and with rigor. And they are scattered from the want of a shepherd, and are food to every beast of the field. Indeed, they are scattered. My flock goes astray on all the mountains and on every high hill, and my flock has been scattered on the whole face of the earth, and there is none inquiring, and none seeking. Therefore, shepherds, hear a word of Yahweh. As I live, a declaration of Lord YHWH, if not, because of my flock being for a prey, indeed, my flock is for food to every beast of the field, because there is no shepherd. And my shepherds have not sought my flock, and the shepherds feed themselves, and they have not fed my flock. Therefore, O shepherds, hear a word of Yahweh. Thus said Lord YHWH, Behold, I am against the shepherds, and have required my flock from their hands, and caused them to cease from feeding the flock. And the shepherds feed themselves no more, and I have delivered my flock from their mouth, and they are not food to them. For thus said Lord YHWH, Behold, I, even I, have required my flock, and I have sought it out. As a shepherd's searching of his drove in the day of his being in the midst of his scattered flock, so I seek my flock, and have delivered them out of all places to where they have been scattered, in a day of cloud and thick darkness. And I have brought them out from the peoples, and have gathered them from the lands, and brought them to their own ground. And they have fed them on the mountains of Israel, by streams, and by all dwellings of the land. I feed them with good pasture, and their habitation is on the mountains of the high place of Israel. They lie down in a good habitation, and they enjoy fat pastures on mountains of Israel. I feed my flock, and cause them to lie down. A declaration of Lord YHWH. I seek the lost, and bring back the driven away. And I bind up the broken, and I strengthen the sick. And I destroy the fat and the strong. I feed it with judgment. And you, my flock, thus said Lord YHWH, Behold, I am judging between sheep and sheep, between rams and male goats. Is it a little thing for you that you enjoy the good pasture, and tread down the remnant of the pasture with your feet, and drink a depth of the waters, and trample the remainder with your feet? And my flock consumes the trodden thing of your feet, and drinks the trampled thing of your feet? Therefore thus said Lord YHWH to them, Behold, I, even I, have judged between fat sheep and lean sheep. Because you thrust away with side and with shoulder, and push all the diseased with your horns until you have scattered them to the outplace. Therefore I have given safety to my flock, and they are not for prey any more, and I have judged between sheep and sheep, and have raised up one shepherd over them, and he has fed them, my servant David. He feeds them, and he is their shepherd. And I, Yahweh, I am their God, and my servant David is prince in their midst. I, Yahweh, have spoken. And I have made a covenant of peace with them, and caused evil beasts to cease out of the land. And they have dwelt confidently in a wilderness, and they have slept in forests. And I have given them and the outskirts of my hill a blessing, and caused the shower to come down in its season. They are showers of blessing. And the tree of the field has given its fruit, and the land gives her increase. And they have been confident on their land, and they have known that I am Yahweh, and my breaking the bands of their yoke. And I have delivered them from the hand of those laying service on them. And they are no longer a prey to nations, and the beast of the earth does not devour them. And they have dwelt confidently, and there is none troubling. And I have raised a plantation of renown for them, and they are no longer consumed by hunger in the land, and they no longer bear the shame of the nations. and they have known that I, Yahweh, their God, am with them, and they, the house of Israel, my people. A declaration of Lord YHWH. And you, my flock, the flock of my pasture, you are men, and I am your God. A declaration of Lord YHWH.